This is the all-new DJI Flip, sporting a camera with a 1/1.3-inch sensor that's capable of recording up to 4K 60 frames a second or 4K up to 100 frames a second in slow motion, all in 10-bit 420 D-Log-M color profile and capable of taking 48 megapixel photos. It has an infrared sensing obstacle avoidance system. It comes programmed with all kinds of smart features, making getting great shots super easy. It can be flown with a remote, just your phone, or no remote and no phone at all. But the thing that makes this drone super interesting is the fact that it's under 249 grams, and you can also use your phone to record audio. So in a way, this drone can be your personal AI-powered camera assistant, aka the vlogging camera drone. Now, in full disclosure, DJI did send me this drone to test and review, but they're not paying me or sponsoring this video in any other way, and all these opinions are my own. Now, this isn't the first drone to have a lot of these features. The DJI Neo came out earlier in 2024, and it had a bunch of these features built in. But what I wasn't excited about with the Neo was I didn't feel like the image quality was on par with most of DJI's other drones. But what makes me so excited about the Flip is the fact that they managed to put the same sensor that's in the Mini 4 series, the Air 3S's telephoto camera, and all of the Air 3 cameras into this drone while keeping it under 249 grams. What does that mean? It means we get tremendously good quality 4K up to 60 frames a second in 10-bit 420 D-Log-M color profile, which gives you plenty of dynamic range out of a tiny camera like this, and a lot of leeway to be able to color grade and edit your footage in post to be able to make it look the way you want to make it look. Everything you're seeing right now is color graded or filmed in 10-bit D-Log-M and then color graded in post. And I have been really impressed by the image quality that comes out of this drone. You can really get some beautiful footage out of it. But the cool thing is you also get full 4K up to 100 frames a second in slow motion, which means you can get some really decent slow motion shots. The one downside to that is that it outputs the file automatically in 25 frames a second. So if you're in the European Union or in Europe, that's great. But for us here in the US, we have to speed that file up by 118% or 115% to get it to match up with 30 frames a second, or slow it down just slightly to match it up with 24 frames a second. Now, if you film in vertical video, you don't need to worry because the Flip actually does do vertical video, but it's not like the Mini series. And if you want to see more about the difference between Flip and the Mini series, you'll have to watch my comparison, which will be coming soon. But it does do a crop, so you get 2.7K up to 60 frames a second of vertical video, which is more than enough for most social media channels. And then we come to low light. Now, this is not going to be a low light beast because it's a very small drone with a very small sensor. But I was actually kind of surprised by how well it does do in low light. Now, DJI says this is actually a dual ISO sensor, dual gain sensor, which means you have two different ISOs that it works the best at, which have the least amount of noise. They say 100 and 400 are those two ISOs. So, we're starting to get into some low light. I want to kind of see exactly how well does the low light performance on this little drone work. I did run through all of the ISOs just to give you a good example of what they look like. And I ran them all at -2 sharpness and -2 noise reduction because that gives you the best possible image, and then you can sharpen and denoise in post, which I'll show you an example of in a minute. But here is D-Log-M at 100, 200, 400, 800, and 1600, which is where D-Log-M stops. And then I switched to normal color profile, and here it is in 1600, 3200, 6400, and that's where it stops. So it is more limited in ISO because it has no dedicated low light mode or night mode or anything like the Air 3S does, but it does actually do pretty decently. And if you take it a little bit of denoising in post and some sharpening, you can actually get some really pretty decent, fairly low light imagery. I would probably limit myself, though, in how high in the ISO I would go, depending on how much denoising you want to do in post. And that brings us to photos. Because DJI is using a quad Bayer sensor, you have the option of doing a 12 or 48 megapixel still photo. And while in the past
I've been a little critical of the 48 megapixel stills. The way DJI is processing the images now has improved those 48 megapixel stills, but there is a trade-off between the 12 and 48. With 12 megapixels, you get more dynamic range. The images look great. They're really nice to work with. You can shoot JPEG or RAW, or JPEG and RAW if you want, and get a lot of leeway to edit these in post and create some really beautiful imagery. Now the 48 megapixels, they do give you more detail, and they can still be edited to make some really beautiful images, but it is at the cost of having a little bit more dynamic range that the 12 megapixel photos have. So, and if you're using the remote, then you get all of the panoramic, ultra wide, you can do sphere photos. It gives you a whole lot of options to be able to capture photos if you're using the remote. Up until this point, we've really only talked about the image quality, but what makes this drone amazing is all the smart little features that DJI has packed in, that you can use the drone by itself, you can use it with your phone, or you can use it with the DJI RC-M3 remote controller or the RC2 remote controller, which I'll show you in just a little bit. But for right now, I want to show you some of the smart features that DJI's packed into the Flip using just the drone or your phone. So up until this point, you've seen follow and direction track, and now I'm showing you droning. By the way, this is midday. This is as high and as bright as the sun is going to get on the shortest day of the year here in Alaska. So welcome to winter here in Alaska. But it also has a bunch of other modes. Now, follow and direction track work really well because you can be in motion. You can have a track from in front or behind. It will not track you from the side, which is probably a good thing because it doesn't have sensors on the side, and that means you would be very likely to crash into something. And then we have things like circle, which is what you've got going on right now. You can preset all your distances in the phone with it. Just be aware, again, there's no obstacle avoidance, so if there's something to the side of the drone, it most definitely will hit.
So just as I was saying, guess what I did? I did exactly what I said you shouldn't do. But let's see if the drone's okay. All right. I think it's okay. We'll see if it's any worse for wear here.
Now, in direction track, you can also change it to things like boomerang or helix, which is what I'm doing right now. So it's going to circle around and get higher as it circles around, which can be cool depending on where you are. And of course, there's spotlight mode, which essentially is kind of like having active track on the Pocket 3. You can see behind me here getting B-roll. But it makes it so that if you want to just put the camera somewhere and have it track you as you move through a scene, you totally can.
But one of the coolest features, if you're using the audio setup with your phone, or if you're using it with your phone and your phone can hear you, is that you can just tell the drone what you want it to do.
Clearly.
Circle.
Circle. 3, 2, 1.
And the drone will do its set circle and execute it just like it should. Droney. And just like that, you can program and have all of these shots all basically just at the command of your voice, which is super cool. And not only does it pair with the DJI Mic 2 or the Mini, obviously like anything that works with your phone will work for this, but if you want to get really good audio, then using the DJI system seems to work exceptionally well. And by the way, this area I'm filming today, the wind is blowing 10 to 14 miles an hour. I know you can't hear it because I have these little wind protection on, but this is handling the wind incredibly well. One of my big concerns was that I wasn't sure how well it would handle the wind just because it has ducks on and it's a small lightweight drone. Super impressed with how well this thing's handling the wind. I thought it'd be much worse, but it's doing every bit as good as a Mini 4 or Mini 3 does. Now, if you use it with the DJI Mic 2, obviously you can just record the audio straight onto the DJI mic and then line it up in post. You'll have to do something like a clap to give yourself a reference point for where the audio starts and match it up to the video file. But if you're using the Mic Mini or Mic 2 system with a phone, or you're just using your phone, then you get this great sounding audio directly into the files here and directly onto the files of the drone, so you can match them up perfectly in post just by dragging them in and lining them up.
The other thing that is nice about this is that it has noise reduction built in. So let me show you what I mean here. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. There we go. So right now the drone is about 8 feet away from me. It's not super loud, but you can definitely hear it. This is what it sounds like when it's about 3 feet away from the camera. All right, so the drone is right here, fingertip away, 1 meter, 3 feet away from the pocket tree. This is how loud it is. And I'm just talking normally, I'm not shouting or anything like that. That is really impressive for a ducted drone. I mean, very, very impressive. So it's not terrible. Actually, it's very quiet. It's much quieter than I was worried it was going to be when I first saw the designs for it leaked on X. But with the noise reduction that you can get, this is what it sounds like in the natural mode. Now let me put it in the pure mode. And then this is drone in the same exact place with the noise reduction in the pure mode. And again, there's some wind going on, there's the drone noise. So, but other than that, it's a pretty quiet place. So you shouldn't really have a problem. But it does give you incredibly clean audio for being able to be followed around by a drone that's 5 to 6, 7 feet away from you.
Now, a real quick note about the audio files. If you want the audio files to be combined with the drone shot automatically, the way to do that is connect to the Flip with your phone and download the files to your phone. That will combine the audio files with the video files both on your phone and on the SD card. If you don't download them onto your phone, then they come in as a separate video and audio file, and you'll just have to match them up manually.
Hey, if you're enjoying or getting value out of this video, then consider subscribing. My goal is to go out and test and review equipment in the most real-world, harsh conditions I can find to give you good information and to give you skills that you might need to be able to use your equipment to the fullest potential. Subscribing is free, doesn't cost you anything. You can always unsubscribe later. And that brings us to obstacle avoidance, which this does have forward-facing obstacle avoidance because it has the front sensor that is scanning and also helps with the active track, or the tracking modes. But it also acts as a forward-facing obstacle avoidance sensor. So it's on right now, and if I fly straight at myself, you can see it stops. Stick is still being pushed forward, but it won't go any closer. Now the difference between this and many of the other DJI drones, like the Mini series or the Air 3 series, is that this will not figure out a flight path around or through obstacles. You can turn it on, off, and basically to brake or to not brake. For example, here I walked through this porch of one of the mine buildings up here and it worked just fine and got through there. I also walked into the little pavilion and it worked just fine and got through there. So it does work, just don't plan on it. And again, that's the only direction is forward. It does not have side or rear facing obstacle avoidance. So you really do need to be aware of what this drone is doing and where it's going to make sure you don't crash. Now, Flip has a few different ways to control it. I've already showed you most of them. One is just with the drone and this button on the side where you can cycle through what you want it to do. You can also use your phone and the DJI Fly app, and that's where you can do the audio recording that gets synced up to the video. Or you can use the DJI RC2, which I've also recently showed you, or the RCN3 if you don't want to buy the RC2 Fly More Combo. And I do recommend getting the Fly More Combo because when it comes to being able to utilize this thing, it's so much funner with the 3 batteries. And if you're operating in the cold like I am right now, you're definitely going to want 3 batteries. If you get one of the Fly More Combos, which I highly recommend, you get the remotes with it as well. And that gives you a whole bunch more options. Remember we were talking about the panoramic photo modes, stuff like that? You can do all that through the remote. There's no way to do that with just the phone, at least not that I've figured out just yet. And of course you can do all of the active track and stuff like that. It just gives you a lot more. It basically becomes just like any of DJI's other drones without a bunch of the obstacle avoidance. But it flies exactly like a Mini. You get 35 miles an hour top speed in sport mode. You can climb and descend at 11 miles an hour. So it gives you a whole bunch, and basically you can fly it just like any of DJI's other drones. But what it also gives you access to is things like master shots. And of course, this is where you can access slow motion, or if you wanted to do some of the quick shots, you can do that too. And you can do hyperlapses as well. So again, just gives you a little bit more control or a lot more options, which actually is something I really love about this thing, is it gives you a ton of options of being able to just throw it in the air and capture great footage of yourself doing something like hiking through the mountains in the middle of the winter in Alaska, or you can use it like a regular DJI drone and actually get some really nice cinematic shots. And then we come to battery life. Now DJI says you're going to get 31 minutes. That is not the case in most real world conditions. That's like, I don't know, in the most perfect, pristine conditions known to man. I've been getting 12 to 15 minutes, 18 minutes, depends on what I'm doing. There's some wind out here today, 10 to 12, maybe 15 miles an hour sometimes, and it's extremely cold. It's like in the teens, so I'll put the actual temperatures here on the screen, just so you have an idea of what I'm doing with this drone. And they're very small batteries, which means they're even more susceptible to cold. That being said, I'm very impressed. The fact that I'm getting very much flight time at all in this cold weather is pretty dang impressive. So, well done, DJI, but also it is why I would very highly recommend the Fly More combo, because it's going to give you the extra flight time. Best thing is, with the Fly More combo, you get the battery recharging hub, which allows you to recharge off USB-C, like I'm doing right now in my backpack. I've been recharging battery packs as they've been going, and they recharge super fast. Now, as with everything, cold is hard on batteries, but if you take a few precautions, you can actually get some decent life out of them, and that's where I've got battery hand warmers in my backpack to keep the batteries warm before I put them in the drone. And then once you put them in the drone and it starts flying, it does okay on its own. It draws enough power to keep the batteries relatively warm. And then we have to talk about pricing. For the drone by itself, with one battery, you're looking at under $450, which is pretty good considering the features and what this drone is capable of. But if you want to get the Fly More combo, which I highly recommend, and I like the DJI RC2 because then you don't have to use your phone, then you're looking at $779. So under $800, 3 batteries, bag, DJI RC2, which is, in my opinion, I think it's a great deal. At first, I thought this drone was a little bit of a gimmick, and I was unsure of what to think of it when I first saw it leaked online. But now that I've been using it for a bit, trying it out, and the fact that I filmed pretty much this entire video using the DJI Flip and Mic Mini, I mean, that's insane. I now have a personal AI-powered, all-in-one vlog camera that I don't really even have to have anybody else operate. I've had people help me film videos before, but now I can get some really cool shots with audio using just this tiny little drone that, frankly, has been better and more durable than I expected. But next, you're going to want to watch this video right here where I cover the differences between this drone and the Mini 4. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below or join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern, at least if I'm not out someplace like this. We can have more of a conversation. I can answer questions maybe I didn't get to in this video. I'll see you again soon in the next one.